Salam, I'm Keely Maryum, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to talk about how to gain confidence to wear the hijab. This is something that I feel like a lot of people struggle with. They might want to wear the hijab, but it might be difficult because of self-conscious reasons. I think that this could also be a helpful video for people who are currently wearing it but struggle with self-confidence. I've been wearing it for probably about 2 years now, so I kind of have picked up a couple of things that I feel like helped me. Also, I want to give a quick disclaimer that I am by no means trying to force anybody to wear it or trying to push that onto anybody else. I believe that everybody has to make that decision in their own time, and I don't know somebody else's intentions. I have no idea what's going on in their lives, so that's none of my business. That is between them and God. This is just for people who are struggling with it. So I feel like the number one thing that really helped me before I was ready to wear the hijab full time was to practice wearing it when I felt comfortable doing so. For some people that could look like just maybe trying it on at home, and then from there maybe wearing it somewhere else, maybe just wearing it to drive around like in the car, or if you're comfortable going to the grocery store, or maybe like another city or town that maybe you don't know a whole lot of people and you might feel a little bit more comfortable and more safe. That's what I did, just so that I could get used to it. I knew I wasn't ready at the moment, but then when I was ready to wear it full time, I made a clear intention with myself that I was going to wear it full time from now on. I feel like it's also important that like once you know that you want to put it on full time, that you make that intention so that you don't go back and forth. Another thing that I really think helps with confidence is to try out different colors of hijabs and different fabrics, because I know for me personally there's certain hijab colors that I do not like on myself, and if I ever do wear it out, I just end up not really feeling the greatest about myself because personally I don't like the way that I look in it, which I know obviously isn't the point of hijab, but it really does make a difference. If you're constantly wearing a color that you don't like, you might just not want to wear it. And by colors, I also mean not just like a specific color like green or brown or whatever. I mean like the specific undertones. So if you have like a brown hijab, there could be ones with warm undertones or cool undertones, and it just takes a little like trial and error to find which ones you like best. But then I find once you like one, you kind of just like stick with the colors that you really like, and then you'll have like maybe 2 or 3 that you typically gravitate towards. For me, at this very start, when I first started wearing hijab, one of the first colors I got was black, and I thought because I wear like black clothing all the time and I thought it would match with what I wear, I would really like wearing it. But then I put it on and I did not like the way that it looked on me, and so I really just don't wear it very often. Every once in a while I'll kind of like want to try it, but then I try it and it's just the same thing. Another point that I'd like to make is that it's important to realize that everybody has their ups and downs with self-confidence. So you may feel a little bit self-conscious regardless of if you wear the hijab or not. This might sound really silly and obvious, but I had a realization one time when I was feeling really self-conscious about myself when I was wearing hijab. I was going through kind of a low point. While I never wanted to take it off, I just felt kind of bad about myself for a little bit, and I just didn't like the way that I looked. And it took me a while to really realize that I felt this way regardless. Even when I didn't wear hijab, I still had moments where I was a little bit more self-conscious about my appearance. And so it made me realize that like it's not the hijab that's making me feel this way, it's just something within myself that I have to work on. And I think this is something that everybody deals with. And so I think it's important to look back at other points in your life and just think, like, if you ever felt self-conscious about yourself before, you would feel that way regardless, and taking off the hijab is not going to solve that. It's just something that you have to work on within yourself. So I think if you're thinking about taking it off, I think that's something that you need to think about if the reason you want to take it off is because you're a little bit self-conscious at the moment. Something else that I've seen people mention that I think might help, I don't really think like it's like a blanket cure or anything like that, but to find a good skincare routine. And this isn't easy by any means. So because it's your face that people are really seeing, a lot of hijabis like to find a good skincare routine just so that they can have at least like nice skin. So like I've struggled with like acne like my whole life. I still do from time to time. But it's not as bad, and I don't know if it's just something that I've grown out of or if it's like the skincare routine that I use, and I'm still working on it as well. I'm still working on finding a skincare routine. I don't think this is gonna really necessarily help everyone, but this is something to just consider. My next point is to not compare yourselves to hijabi influencers or even hijabis that you know in real life. So especially on social media, people are going to only choose the best photos of themselves where they look their nicest to post and to show with the world. And obviously, like, no hate whatsoever matter. I did mention this in a previous video, but I think that this is a really important point for anyone's self-growth, because we do live in a time where social media is just everywhere. You can't really escape it, and we just kind of have to learn how to deal with it. And sometimes that means just like unfollowing certain people or just completely getting off of social media for a bit if it's really affecting your mental health. But if you can still follow them, it's important not to compare yourselves to hijabis online, because also it is like their job. When you really think about it, it's influencers' jobs to appear a certain way, and I do feel like they do have a lot of pressure to appear a certain way to everybody. And I also do think that the hijabi beauty standards are getting a lot stricter, and honestly I know like a lot of people can look at that and maybe feel bad about themselves. I know I've done that from time to time, but I've kind of just learned to not do that, and it does take some time to do that. And my next point is that I think it's important to look into the meaning of hijab and the reasons why we wear it. And I don't think that this only applies to people who are new to hijab or new Muslims. I think even if you wear hijab all the time, I think it's important to constantly remind yourself. So every once in a while I find myself going back to the concept just to make sure that my intentions are pure, and so that I remember the reasons why I wear it. And you can do this by reading books on the topic, watching lectures, podcasts, anything like that, anywhere where you like to consume your information, because I think from time to time we all can forget why we do certain things. And so those were all the points that I did want to make on this topic, but I did also want to remind everyone that just because somebody doesn't wear the hijab, it doesn't make them any less or any worse of a Muslim than a woman who does wear the hijab. While the hijab is a more outward display of faith, it doesn't show what's on the inside or what their intentions are, and we can't judge that about somebody else. That's all I kind of had to share for today, so I want to thank you all for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe.